Good morning, y'all. All right, I'm going to take you for a tour through my very cluttered areas that I'm dealing with right now because we're going to be spending so much time back here over the next couple of months with the crafts that we're doing and redoing the living room that's going to become my studio and gallery. So this is the dining room. Let's start right here. And I'll just say the dining room is used for everything but a dining room. Right now we have leaves and we have some bittersweet wreaths that we've just gotten started on. They're not finished at all. They'll be twisted with a lot more branches, so they'll be much thicker. I've got my chicken food in here. The two bottom buckets are ferment, and they have corn and sunflower seed. And I have all of this stuff that needs to go downstairs to the canning area. And all of this stuff that needs to go downstairs to an area that will be for seed starting and anything that has to do with our flower gardens. You can see this is just full of seed, full of seed. The problem is right now we don't have the areas downstairs finished so that we have shelving to put all this stuff on. And I just don't want to take any more clutter down there and just stick it over in the corner. So it's just clutter up here, sticking in a corner. This is my office. And as you can see, it's also cluttered because I've been moving things around and cleaning off shelves, and all of the prints that I brought out this spring to sell at the market, all of that has been moved around and whatever. Let me take you over here and show you my jade plant. Look at this beauty. I've got to spend some time and tie it up because there's branches all over the place that are just sinking, and I want it to grow straight up. But it loves this window. It loves this window. But it's going to be big. I had a jade plant when I was a kid. My mom had sent it upstairs to my bedroom. I don't know why she did that. It was probably 3 feet tall. And the stalk or the trunk on this thing, I could probably not have reached around it. Maybe even with both of my hands. But it was beautiful, and I didn't take care of it, so it died. This is my redemption. Okay? It's my redemption. And look, my little cactus. I think that it's going to be blooming within the next, actually, over here's one that's really beginning to open up. I need to give it a little drink. But yeah, it's going to bloom for me this year. I think this one's supposed to be a Thanksgiving cactus. Christmas cactuses are red. I think the color is what indicates the type of cactus there. I'm not sure. But anyway, all right, let's go on around the corner. And this very cluttered area is the one I've been resisting showing you guys completely. But this is the room that is going to be my studio / gallery. You can see it's a pretty big room. I think it's about 20 feet long. Yeah, and there's the very messy dried flower room right now. But again, in this room, we have all kinds of things that will not be staying, obviously. Chelsea and I have been working. We had a table in here this week, and the table went with me to market the other day. But the table we've been working at making our wreaths and our little arrangements, and I will show those to you this week as well. But I'm excited about this one, guys. I'm just excited. That door right there opens down to a little hallway that goes to the bedroom that Hugh and I use, and also just a tiny little bathroom. But the bathroom, or that has a step down too high to use for, potential customers and people visiting. It's just a very high step. So right behind that door, on that wall, there will be another door, probably, we haven't laid it out completely, where Hugh and I will be building a handicapped bathroom that will just have a sink and a potty. but and be big enough for people to, turn a wheelchair around in. So we will have a bathroom off of this room, because this room also will have probably 2 tables eventually. They're too long. Yeah, it probably have 2 long tables in it, so that we can accommodate maybe up to 10 people for a class. I'll be teaching art classes. We may be teaching some classes on having your own little cut flower garden, teaching everything from starting the seeds all the way through the cutting end of it, and how to preserve your flowers keep them fresh. But yeah, I'm barely breathing today. I need to catch a deep breath. It's all the dust. This room is really dusty, and we've been in here a lot this week, so nothing is wrong, and I don't have COVID. I just don't do well with old dust, and there's a lot of old dust back here. But let me tell you what's going on with the walls and the ceiling and all that. That wall, I've told Hugh that, and he was going to try to trim that little area out, where you can see that at one time there was a door. And I told him what I'd really like to do is just take all of that wood down and just put fresh wood up. It's going to be very simple. Obviously, these old walls are just plank. So just finish the edge of them like these are finished, put them up, and then they're going to be painted anyway. So that instead of just disguise or trying to disguise, to me, that would actually bring more attention to the place instead of just getting rid of it altogether. And I'll have a really big painting on that wall, so it's not going to be that noticeable anyway, but may as well fix it, right? The wall itself is going to be some kind of a gallery color. I don't know if I'm going to lean toward the warms or the cools, but it's going to be a very, very, very pale gray or a very, very, very pale cream. And then the ceiling itself will be, and that little section coming down from the ceiling will be white. The trim will probably be just a darker color of whatever the wall ends up being. And the ceiling, now we're not going to replace the ceiling. We will just put probably a very thin board across there and just fix it. Lighting, I don't know. I'm going to get some lighting, hopefully that will have some directional lighting for the purpose of lighting the paintings themselves. And there's 2 lights in here, so we should have plenty of opportunity for directional lighting. And of course, this window looks down at our flower field, so that's nice. And let's walk over here. Oh, and the floor is old, extraordinarily old. And Hugh has been drying some wood up in the little barn on the hill, some red oak that he said that he would put down for me if I wanted him to. It's probably this spring, it will be a year. It will be a full year, so it will be seasoned enough. But I think I'd like for him just to use that for something different, because this room is going to have a lot of traffic anyway. I think that I'm just going to paint this floor. We will have to, you can see that one raised board. There's a couple places that will have to be hand planed. But I think I'm just going to paint this floor and maybe even grid it off and do a couple of different colors on the floor, so it will disguise, just how bad of shape the floor is actually in. Well, let me turn around here to this. Okay, this old fireplace, Hugh's mother wanted marble, and Hugh has hated this fireplace from the time he was even a kid. He said, marble doesn't belong in an old farmhouse. He said, I don't know why she wanted marble, but he said, it doesn't work. So he's going to build a mantle. I told him I didn't want to tear the fireplace out. It does have some sentimental value, and Hugh's mama did really love it. So I said, let's not tear it out. Just make a make a big mantle that will come around and wrap at least pretty, far over this direction. You can see how dusty, it's really dusty. And down the top, just something, a lot of wood. It'll be pretty, but it still will allow the marble to be seen. And I think that would suit both, give it more of an old-fashioned look, and it will be Hugh's mom's marble. So, all right, let's go this direction. This little area will be our entryway, and the door is going to be a double. We haven't found one yet. We're still looking at places like Habitat for Humanity because we don't want to pay an exorbitant price. But we want a double door here, a glass double door, either a sliding door or a French door. And that will give us some light in here. Because you can see there were windows at one point in time. And when Hugh's mom had this house redone, this was a huge closet right here. And this was a huge closet on this side, and everything was closed up. That was a window, and it just had a little trunk sitting in front of it. But we're going to have it as an entry to the outside. And the double door, instead of adding windows, the double door will give us plenty of light in here. And we have a couple of beautiful old pieces of furniture. The bed is down in the barn, and it's just so old and so short that Hugh would never be able to sleep on that bed because he would kill his feet it's like a sleigh bed, and he would just be busting his feet on it all the time. But the dresser, let me see if I can show you the front of the dresser. It's kind of dark back here. Well, you can't see because I've got the drawers up here. But it's a beautiful, beautiful piece of furniture. And that's the big mirror to it over there. So we're going to set it right there on that wall. And then the other smaller piece, there's a washstand dresser in here. Y'all might have seen it with the bears on it the other day when I showed you this room. Let's see if I can get back here to it. Okay, there it is. But it's a really pretty little piece of furniture too, and they match. This one's just much smaller. And it's going to go on the other wall right there. And then the hall tree, which was apparently a Christmas gift from my father-in-law to my mother-in-law years and years and years ago when they were young marrieds. But, I mean, it was even probably an antique then. But it's going to go right there on that wall. And so there will be lots of storage. That's all we'll use it for, is just storing lightweight items. But it'll just make a pretty little entryway and give people somewhere to hang their jackets and their handbags. And, yeah. So the walls in here, Hugh's going to just cut the same thing for the walls that's in there, just the planks. We're just going to put the planks up. He wanted to drywall it, and I told him, no, I really just want it to look old-fashioned. I want it to look like the rest of that area. So he's going to cut for me just the planks, and we're going to plane them down around the edges and put them up in here. And then just make a nice, pretty little entryway. And I love that the ceilings are nice and tall. The ceilings, they're not quite 9 feet tall, but they're not far from that. But anyway, so yeah, this will be the studio/gallery. And the gallery hours will probably be, I'll probably advertise those as a certain hours on Saturday and Sunday, and then by appointment, because I don't want to just, have people stopping on a whim if they're just passing by and see the sign. I mean, Not that I have a problem with visiting with people, but you just don't want your day constantly. And I may be overestimating this, but maybe no one would stop. But, and just planning on, in case someone stops, I just want to be prepared for it. And there's our fields, one of them, and the other one obviously is over there at Chelsea's. But yeah, it's just all brown and beautiful in its own way this time of year. It won't be long before Hugh will be, well, I've got to get all the stakes pulled up. And the plastic, we only use plastic on those first 2 rows. But I want to get that plastic pulled up. And then we've got to get some cover crop on everything. The lower beds, I explained the other day, he will be reshaping those just so that they'll be further apart and easier to mow between. And this is what it looks like out here. My rickety little dog lot, chicken lot fence. But yeah, it really is a beautiful little view from this porch, and the sun sets over that little rise, so we never see the sun going completely down. It hides, but by the time it gets down past that little set of trees and everything, the sky's usually pretty well lit up and beautiful. But anyway, and you can see right here how high we are off the ground. I don't know if you can tell, but that's about a 5-foot drop right there. So we're going to have to find, and I think we're going to just do, instead of doing stairs and a ramp, I think we're just going to do a ramp, because anybody can walk up the ramp, but the stairs would just be one more element that we don't need to do. But because it's so high, we're probably going to have to wrap and maybe wrap again, because it's a 12-degree rise. That's what's required by the state for a wheelchair ramp. But anyway, and y'all remember Chelsea? She finally had a doctor's appointment yesterday. She's been having a lot of problems with her neck. And it turns out that she has possibly either a pinched nerve or a ruptured disc. And they're sending her for, it's not an MRI, it's a different type of a screen, or I don't want to call it an x-ray. I'm not sure what it's called. But so that they can see the soft tissue and see if it is actually a ruptured disc. But she's struggling, and she's being a trooper, trying her best to help me with these wreaths and everything that we have going on the market right now. So I told her, I said, you're just going to have to let it go. And she says, she actually sent me a picture. You guys will think this is so sweet. She actually sent me a picture of a massage chair that she found on Amazon. And I think she ordered it. And this one's fairly inexpensive. The more substantial ones are fairly expensive. But it's one of those where, you know, you lean your face down and there's an opening so that your face is kind of circled, almost like a donut. And you're sitting on it and you're leaning forward. And so you can see down. And she said, Mom, I think this will work. She said, if I set up a table and I lean forward in this chair, she said, I'll be able to see what I'm doing and work and be able to relax my neck. So that's commitment, y'all. But I'm hoping that whatever is wrong will not end up requiring surgery. But if it does, I hope she can get it taken care of and be well and ready to roll this spring, because it will bother her tremendously if she's not able to help me out here. All right, and then here is the wall where the big door will go, and the big double door. And this porch itself is pretty big. It's I don't know, about not quite a 15-foot square, but it's big enough that we could set tables up out here And if people want to, you know, come with their grandkids and let their grandkids, I mean, they'd have to be older grandkids, obviously, but let their grandkids do the U-pick, but they're not really interested in joining them, but want to be with them, then we might have, you know, just a place out here for people to relax and drink tea, and maybe an umbrella over top of the tables so they can just be part of the experience and look at the fields when they're all pretty. But anyway, all right, let's go back in. And so this will be it. Walking through the little entryway into the studio gallery. That room, I think that we've decided I was going to use that as my studio and this out here as a gallery. If we can figure out a way to make the plants hang, or the flowers, to dry the flowers without using that area, I will still make this into a studio. Because you can see I get the sun from that window in the morning, and then some ambient light from that in the afternoon and evening. So this really is the perfect room for an art studio when it's not covered with the fabric I have over it right now. Is actually, if it went all the way to the bottom of the window, if I had a door up over here and the light were out, it would be really, really dark, because it is room darkening fabric and it really works. But I've got to figure out a different space for the flowers to hang. And I don't know. We'll have to just give everything some serious thought. It would be kind of pretty to hang them all the way against the ceiling in this little entryway on both sides. And since next year we are actually going to be cutting flowers all year and keeping them dried, and then after they're dried, taking them down and putting them in a box to store them, then that might be, we may not need nearly as much room as we did this fall when we did everything all at once. But anyway, all right, y'all. I just wanted you to see our tremendously big mess, but all the plans that we have for it. There's the leaves that Chelsea has waxed, and I want you to know they are absolutely so gorgeous. So gorgeous. I don't know if you can get a wax that's not shiny. I don't know if there's that possibility. That would be the only thing that I would like to change about these, is that they just wouldn't be quite so shiny. But they are absolutely gorgeous. All right. Y'all take good care of yourself. It's going to be a beautiful day. I'm still working on the cat house. So that's where I'm headed as soon as I finish this video. And a box full of black pumpkins. Love y'all. Bye-bye.